What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the 2022 season of the NFL. Today we're going to be going through the power rankings from 32 to 1, and this is on August 1st. So this is before the season even starts. This is just what they are right now, and they will definitely change throughout the season. And when I'm doing this at the same time next year, you'll see how much things change in the blink of an eye. So let's get right into it. This is a disclaimer I'm making after the video. I made fun of most of these teams in the beginning, up to like Washington. Like, I made fun of the Patriots, I made fun of the Giants, I made fun of the Panthers, I made fun of all those teams. So I'm sorry if you get offended, but there's really not much to talk about besides they're like bad. So yeah, I just want to let you know so you don't click off the video. I get more in depth while it goes up the chart. So yeah, so enjoy the video. Let's get started off at number 32. Possibly one of the worst teams I've seen out of this organization. My favorite team, sadly, the Houston Texans. I've never really been disappointed because, we're never really good. The 2 years we were good, we just lost in the second round, because we can't start winning by more than 24. That's just against the law. So, yeah, we basically just lose a lot, just like all of our players that are good at football. Like, Deshaun ain't playing anymore. We're probably going to trade him. JJ just like, no, get me out of here, son. I don't blame him. I really like JJ. I respect him. I don't blame him for that. Tyrann Mathieu. Jadeveon Clowney got out of there somehow. DeAndre Hopkins was called Aaron Hernandez. I don't really need to get into it. We all know the Houston Texans are bad, but there's no way they're losing 17 games. Somebody's going to be so sorry of a team that day that they're going to lose to Davis Mills in the squad. So, yeah. Number 31 is the Detroit Lions. They're like how the Texans are this year, but every single year they've ever existed. They've never been good. They've never won anything. They've never even made a conference championship, and they've been playing forever. The Texans never made a conference championship ever. You have me on that. But they've been a team since, 2002, not forever. I don't know. The Lions have been around for a while. I don't know the exact date, but definitely earlier than 2002. And they didn't win a game one season. So, yeah. The Jets are another team that just are never good. I mean, obviously, they've had good years, unlike the Texans and Lions. They're the only two teams that have never been good in their existence. But, the Jets had that a couple of years that Mark Sanchez was really solid. They won with Joe Namath. That's their history. But this year, they're absolute... I don't even know how to say this without getting demonetized, but they're absolute trash, honestly. Just not as trash as these two other teams. They'd be the worst team in the league like last year if these two other teams were there. I mean, last year they were so bad that they were terrible and still couldn't get the first pick, and they just got a worse quarterback. So, yeah, Zach Wilson ain't winning them more games than any of these other teams besides the Lions and Texans, which really ain't even an accomplishment, honestly. This is the same deal as the Jets. They just have a better quarterback and a couple better receivers, so that's basically it. Number 29 are the Jaguars, and they play the Texans twice, so that's free 2 wins. So, yeah. Number 28 are the Broncos. Drew Lock is the most disappointing quarterback in Broncos history, and I don't even say that lightly. They're somehow worse when he's hurt, and it's kind of hard to be a worse quarterback than Drew Lock. But they have so much talent, but the most valuable position's quarterback, and they just can't win. I hope with their new guy they just got, I hope they can just win. They just traded for a QB, and I hope he can win some games. Drew Lock just so bad, honestly. And yeah, that's why they're number 28, because their quarterback's garbage. Number 27's the Falcons. I don't really have much to say besides they lost all their players, and they weren't even good with their good players. I mean, they're only not last because they have Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan, and that's about it. So, yeah. This is another team that has a lot of talent, but don't know where to go to get more talent because they have Joe Burrow, and don't get me wrong, Joe Burrow is an amazing QB, he just is going to get hurt every season because he has nobody to block for him. How is he supposed to throw to these amazing receivers if he can't even see? And half the game, his helmet and jersey is just going to be covered in grass. He's going to be just laying down, thinking that he's in bed, waking up, going to school. He's going to say, check please, probably after getting hit a couple times one game. And he's just, most of the Bengals snaps are going to be from the backup quarterback because he has nobody to protect him. So, yeah, just they're number 26 because they don't know what to do, and Burrow can't have the ball for more than 2 seconds. Number 25 are the Raiders. They do feel a little low in my opinion, but honestly thinking about it, they're just really not that good. They have Darren Waller, who's an amazing talent, and Derek Carr is a pretty solid QB. They just haven't been able to win that well over the past couple years. They were supposed to be a big deal, and then they got John Gruden, and that coach just ruined everything for him. I know he's a legendary coach and all, but ever since they got him, they've been trash. So they're going to be trash again this year. So, yeah. Number 24, the Eagles. The Eagles are actually one of my favorite teams. Just like, I don't know why. I just kind of like their jerseys and their players. I like Ertz, and I like Hurts, which are pretty funny because they're basically the same word, but one has a H in front of it. But yeah, the Eagles just, the only chance they'd really make the playoffs is just because of how bad their division is. Like 6 wins make you the playoffs in that division, and it's just like disappointing on how bad a division can be in the actual NFL, where if you put a college football team in there, they could probably win 1 or 2 games. So yeah, the Eagles are low just because they're bad, and yeah, that's basically it. And number 23, I have the Panthers. They're pretty solid. They have Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's pretty nice. He just had nobody around him. Now that he has Christian McCaffrey and a pretty solid team, they're not going to be a bottom feeder team. I can't put them too high just because we've never seen any players with that quarterback. But I wouldn't be surprised if they finished the end of the year at like the 15 slot. Honestly, they're a pretty solid team. They're definitely my sleeper team out of that division. With a pretty solid division, they have to deal with the Saints, the Bucks, and the Falcons. But the Falcons are probably going to fall off big time, like I said earlier, which is just going to boost them up. So that's why I have them at 23. And number 22, I have the Giants. Who knows what's up with Saquon at this point? I hope he's better. I like Saquon. You obviously want to root for a guy. You don't want a guy to get hurt and ruin his whole career. That would just be terrible. But outside of Saquon, really, I don't know. I don't really feel too confident in them. Their receivers are pretty solid, but they also have Daniel Jones throwing to them. And Daniel Jones is an absolute joke of a quarterback. I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want about him. You can believe he's an absolute beast. But in reality, what has he done in his career? Nothing. He's better than Dwayne Haskins. That's about it. There you go. That's why they're so low, and they're absolute garbage. Number 21 are the Patriots. Cam Newton's so bad. He's just really bad. Bill Belichick is trying to just keep him there for some reason. But they did draft Mac Jones, which might boost up Cam Newton. But again, who knows how good Mac Jones actually is. Mac Jones can just be another bum bust. So, I don't know. I don't like Mac Jones. I don't like him as a quarterback at all. I think he's a terrible quarterback. Who knows if he's going to even be able to hit a receiver. But their defense is pretty nice. They have some nice defensive players like Devin McCourty and Stephon Gilmore, and J.C. Jackson's pretty good. Their cornerbacks are really solid. That's why they're so high, actually, in this rankings. They don't have a running back. Actually, yeah, they do. They have Damian Harris. Damian Harris is pretty good, but we haven't seen much of him. Their receivers, nobody's. They just pick up receivers off the street and think it works. No one only works with Tom Brady, Bill, and not Cam Newton or Mac Jones, I can tell you that. So I have the Patriots down at 21, just because they have a couple solid guys. That's about it, though. They're not going to really win anything. I doubt they even make the playoffs. At number 20, I have the Washington football team. I only have them so low just because who knows what they're really capable of. Their defense is really nice. They have one of the top defenses in the actual whole league. But if they keep switching up receivers, not receivers. If they keep switching up their quarterbacks, They can't really stay as a solid team. They had 4 starting quarterbacks last year. Ryan Fitzpatrick's actually really good. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I just don't see them contending over these teams above them. But I have nothing but positive things to say about Washington. And number 19, I have the Bears. They're actually really nice. They have a really nice team, a really nice young team. But I just think they're this slow because at the moment they're starting quarterback's Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is better than Cam Newton, but he's also not good. I don't think he's a player that can bring the team to the playoffs like he used to be in Cincinnati. He's just not the same guy anymore. And I just don't think, like I said, I don't think he's good. But if Justin Fields plays a lot, they could make the playoffs, honestly. I think Justin Fields, top 2 quarterback in this class, if not the best. He honestly could be the best. So we'll see what happens. So I don't expect a Super Bowl, but I expect them to be a pretty solid team, a team when your team's playing them to be scared of. So, yeah. And number 18, I have the Steelers. I'll keep it short for you. They have an amazing team. They just have Ben Roethlisberger. They have the Defensive Player of the Year. They have an amazing receiving core and Deontay Johnson. Not as he's good. I mean, he's just really bad and fair. But they have every single piece you can have. Najee Harris is going to be, mark my words, best running back in the whole, 2020s. I don't even care. There's still 10 more years. I don't even know the names of them. I don't care. They're not going to even come close to this guy. Even the 2010s. I'm sorry I said I was going to keep it short. I'm not. But Najee Harris is the most impressive running back I've ever seen. They just have Ben Roethlisberger. So, yeah. The Saints are number 17, and it's just because of how solid their roster is, but their QB is just really bad. Before I even say anything about the Cardinals at number 16, I think I say they're going to be higher by the end of the season. I just haven't seen any of these guys really play together, and last year they missed the playoffs. I'm putting them above big-name teams like the Steelers and the Saints just because of the potential they have here. They have J.J. Watt, who's questionably the best pass rusher of all time. I know there might be better like Reggie White and Bruce whatever, but we can get into that later. But they have a ridiculous squad on paper. Their offense was explosive last year. I only see that going forward with the add of James Conner and AJ Green. Their defense, your team's not scoring more than 20 on them, I can tell you that. Just wow. They're making the Super Bowl or the conference championship. Yes, I said this and I put them this low. They are making the Super Bowl or the conference championship. And I don't care what you have to say in the comments. We'll just see what happens. At number 15, I have the Colts. Carson Wentz is already hurt. I mean, I don't know how that's possible. So they're like acting starter. I'm pretty sure it's like Brett Hundley or something. So they might be a top 10 team. But if their quarterback is already hurt, that's just sad. If their quarterback is just going to continue to be hurt all the time, that's just sad. So they're top 15 and they're going to be lower by the end of the year, in my opinion. The Cowboys are a mid-team. They're number 14 in this. Yes, Cowboys fans are already in the comments, but hear me out. They have a sick team. I'm not going to lie to you. But Zeke is falling off so bad. But Pollard's nice. Tony Pollard is nice. Their receivers are nice. Their defense is meh. Defense really bad, but they have a new defensive coordinator, so we'll see if that makes a difference. I really doubt it. Their offensive line's always been really solid, but Dak's so good. I don't care. Dak's probably top 10. Or definitely top 10, might be not probably top 10. He's definitely top 10, but we'll see if he stays healthy. There's always something wrong with Dak every year. Something always happens to Dak. So we'll see if, 1, if Dak stays healthy, they'll be higher. 2, if Zeke plays like Zeke, they'll be higher. 3, if their defense lets up less than 40 points a game, they'll be higher. That's all I have to say. Now, the Vikings are number 13. Their defense is nice. Their receivers are so good. They have possibly the best running back in the NFL. And Kirk is pretty solid. But they're just never a playoff team because they have to go against very good teams. The division everybody knows. They have to go against the Bears and the Packers every year. They're pretty good at football. So basically, yeah, that's all I really have to say. Chargers are at 12. I know it's high. Justin Herbert's good. That's really all I have to say. Quarterback equals high rating. Just outside of the top 10, the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins are very nice. Their receivers, I can talk for hours about. Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle's nice. Devontae Parker, so underrated. Tua. Now, nobody knows if he's really capable of, but he looked pretty okay last year. He didn't look super underwhelming, but he didn't look like the superstar everybody thought he was going to be. Their defense, Xavier Howard, he requested a trade, but I think they're just going to give him his money and he'll play. Then they got Byron Jones, another very solid corner. And just the rest of their defense is so nice, man. Benardrick McKinney. Their team is just scary good. But there are just 10 really elite teams in the NFL. So they're right outside. But I'd see them going up. I think just really their division is really what puts them that low and gets them all their losses throughout the year. But the Dolphins are going to be scary this year, and another team I wouldn't be surprised if they made it far. At number 10, inside the top 10 now, guys. We're in the home stretch. We're going to the 10 best teams right now. And I got Seattle Seahawks at number 10. They are so underwhelming since they made that last Super Bowl. They just make the playoffs and lose. Their team is so good. They have Russell Wilson, a top 5 quarterback, questionably. They have Chris Carson, very nice. DK Metcalf, very nice. Jamal Adams, very nice. Bobby Wagner, very nice. They're just a very nice squad. Honestly, really not much to talk about the Seahawks. Besides, they're going to make the playoffs and lose in the first round. So, yeah. Number 9 is the Tennessee Titans. Now, this is a team I really dislike. Like, this is the only team I really hate besides the Patriots. But I'm a guy that hates things, but I'll give respect to it. I'll give respect to how good the Titans really are. They have Derrick Henry. Tannehill's really good. Tannehill's top 10. Or at least top 12. Julio Jones is really good. A.J. Brown's really good. Their defense really good. They have no weaknesses besides, the playoffs. So, we'll see how it goes for them this year. Hopefully they can finally beat Kansas City. That would be good for them and their fans that I don't really like or get along with. But root for the underdog, am I right? So we'll see what happens. I'd be excited if I was a Titans fan. I just don't sound too happy right now because they're a top 9 team and I'm number 32. So, yeah. At number 8, I have the Browns. A lot of people have them higher. They're just not a top-tier team for me yet. Their defense is top tier. Their offense is top tier. Just their team play really isn't. They barely beat Houston last year. They almost beat the Chiefs last year, but they didn't, So, since they really aren't a championship team yet, don't get me wrong, they could win the championship. I think they can. But I don't think Baker Mayfield is Super Bowl ready. This is going to be put into an edit on TikTok when they win the Super Bowl. So I bet you it's going to be. But I just don't think they're going to win anything. So Baker Mayfield doesn't have what it takes. He's not a top-tier quarterback. So you're going to have to live with that. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about the Cleveland Browns. At number 7, I have the Baltimore Ravens. Another team where I love their defense. I really like Baltimore defense. Lamar Jackson, just my favorite kind of quarterback. A guy that can run around and pass the rock. He's not better than Josh Allen, but he's top 6. I'd say top 7 quarterback. The Ravens are really nice. I like their receivers. I like Mark Andrews, especially. I like the Sammy Watkins ad. I just feel like if they got a really big name receiver, Like, if they just got Julio Jones, they'd be a top 5 team. You know? Like, they need a better receiver than Marquise Brown and Sammy Watkins. Like I just said, I like the Sammy Watkins pickup. But, they're just not going to win with guys like that. They're okay receivers and Mark Andrews, Nick Boyle is very nice. He's the best tight end ever. That was a joke. But, who's Lamar supposed to throw to? People are making fun of him for running all the time, but who's he supposed to throw to besides his tight end? J.K. Dobbins is also very nice. So that's why the Ravens are at 7. Number 6, I have the 49ers. Now, I know I've said this whole video, it depends on quarterback. Jimmy G brought them to the Super Bowl, Raheem Mostert's really good. Their defense might be the best defense in the NFL. Their receivers, good. Their tight end, second best in the NFL. You could say best. I don't really care. Their offensive line, nice. The quarterback they just drafted, he's pretty good. So, yeah, they're not going to, win the Super Bowl, but they just made it. They have, the same team, so you got to say they're up there. So, yeah, that's why I have them at number 6. Going into the top 5 now with the LA Rams. Another team, they might have the best defense in the NFL. They have 2 of the best defenders in the NFL. They have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. They're a solid team. They just beat the Seahawks in the playoffs with Wolford and Goff. And they have Matt Stafford now, who's up there. He's a really good quarterback. He's always shined when there's nothing to shine with, He's always had no team, but we will see if he's a winner this year with this squad he has. They're definitely top 5 right now. The Rams made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, so they can definitely make it with Mr. Matt Stafford. So the Rams are probably going to make the Super Bowl out of the NFC. But there are a couple other teams like the Cardinals and Packers that might have something to say about that. Also, the Buccaneers that just made it. I know this might be stupid, but number 4, I have the Green Bay Packers that are either going to fall off a cliff this season or win the Super Bowl. No in between. They're not going to be a first-round exit. They're not going to be a second-round exit. They're not going to be a third-round exit. They're making the Super Bowl and winning, or they're not making the playoffs, man. I can tell you that. These Green Bay Packers are going to be scary or something to play around with, like Aaron Rodgers last year. He's not going to want to go out with nothing, I can tell you that. He's going to want to go out with a bang in a Super Bowl. Devontae Adams out of there after. They just got all these guys back. They got Randall Cobb. They're probably going to get Jordy Nelson. It's my hot take. They're going to get Jordy Nelson. They're winning. So I have them at number 4 because these 3 teams are just really good. But, just watch out is what I'm saying. The Bills are my second favorite NFL team. I just really like Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. That's about it. No, I'm just joking. Their defense, really good last year. They held the Chiefs at the beginning of the game in the conference championship. They can win. This is a team, these top 4 teams right here, I bet you one of them will be in the Super Bowl, or both, maybe 2. Maybe 2 of them will be in the Super Bowl. These top 4 teams I have right here, just all these teams are winning teams. Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback, top 4 maybe, I don't know, one of those. He's just so fun to watch. He's so good. He has the winning mentality. I can tell you that the Bills can definitely win the Super Bowl. They just made the Super Bowl. They have the best quarterback in the league. They have questionably the best receiver in the league. They have the best tight end in the league. They have a solid defense. Who am I talking about? Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. I don't really need to talk about how they're so high, besides the fact that Mahomes. So I know I said I was going to go more in depth, but they're so good. They have the best offense I've ever seen, ever, and their defense is pretty solid. So there's really not much to talk about. They have a ridiculous defense that held the best offense ever to 9 points in the Super Bowl. They have the GOAT, the literal GOAT of football, the best tight end ever. Just really good receivers, including Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I actually don't know if they still have Chris Godwin. You're gonna have to fact check me on that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are number one. Not much to really talk about. They just won the Super Bowl. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Leave a comment. Tell me how stupid I am because your favorite team's bad. Subscribe if you want to see more. I took a lot of time on this video. Downloaded a ton of pictures. I put effort into these breakdowns. Put effort into the jokes I made about teams. I'm sorry if I offended your team. I really hope you enjoyed it. I tried my best. So I'll talk to you guys later. And as always, keep on keeping on. I see you in the next one. And peace out.